I'm Blair, and today we're at the Bristol Brick Show. Let's go check it out.
A lot of people think it's under the sea because some of the pieces we've reused from a previous undersea model, so you've got corals and things, but we thought that because it's an alien planet, we could use whatever we liked, so we've reused some pieces.
Yeah. It still makes for a great debate, so I'll go with it. I like it.
Yeah. Well, the idea was that this part of a much bigger model, which is based on the theme of Blacktron. So when we get into where all the servicing bays are and all the accommodation and everything for the Blacktron people, it's all just black and yellow, so it's quite stark.
Yeah.
So in the wider planet, we thought what we want is plenty of colour, because you can't do the colour if you're trying to be true to the Blacktron theme. So hence that's why it's so colourful. And then I had the idea that given that we're in Blacktron, why not have a classic space model crashed on the planet, because then it shows that people had been here before, but now the Blacktron people have come to take over. So this is the death of classic space. It's not our. These ones, the pine trees, they're not our design. I think it was a guy from Denmark that taught me how to do it. But you can actually build them 2 layers higher again. The base of it is based around a ship's wheel, and it sits in a barrel. Can you take that one off the end, Ed? So underneath, look, you've got a barrel which has got an upside down 1x1 brick in it, so that the spindle of the ship's wheel can sit in it, and that gives you the circular bit. And then as you go up, you use the 2x2 plate that's got 4 bars sticking up as you come up, so that you then slowly come down in shape. And you can put another 2 layers below, which still use the ship's wheel, but then you need more bricks to push it out further. So I haven't got any of those on this model, but we have got some of those. But it wasn't our design. But as you can see, they're quite sturdy. And a lot of people are starting to pick up this. But this tree idea, my son designed, as with this one, which uses the mixel joints. That's really a sturdy tree. Almost like a birch tree, if you like, in shape. So that's quite. Again, Simon, my son, designed that.
We've definitely found out ourselves on our own Lego table that landscaping is probably the hardest part, like coming up with all the different tree forms and shapes. So we always love seeing good trees.
Yeah. Well, here it's quite flat. But we're quite keen on the fact that you don't want to have flat bases. You need to have texture, because in real life, yes, you get a manicured lawn out there because of the cricket pitch. But generally speaking, if you go out and about, it's got lumps and hollows and bumps, and so you want the landscape to be like that. But in our wider model, we've got mountains, and the mountains come up about 40 or 50 bricks high, so it's really tall, and it's very, very dramatic. So we've got a combination of mountainsides and then bigger landscape. But like you, we try to make it as uneven as we can, so that it more replicates a natural landscape. A bit like this, really. You've got a clear scar here, because the ship crashed, so it's created a scar in the landscape. But it wouldn't just be a hole, and that's why it's been built up on the sides, because everything's been thrown out. So you want to try and replicate that, and it shows the movement, if you like, in the landscape.
Thank you so much.
You are most welcome.
Thank you. Subscribe if you like Lego. Can you tell us about your design a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's all fantasy. There's some Lord of the Rings stuff, so the Ents. But there's the Warhammer-based stuff, like the Warboars, the Squigs. There's some horrors here. There's a couple of Gene Stealers, which are for space, but I made them recently, and I thought, well, I'll put them in anyway.
It's a battle.
Yeah, it's a battle. There's a Lord of the Rings spider, a Shelob, but then I put a sort of goblin battle platform on there. For chariots, there's all sorts of different things. You kind of see something, think, oh, that would be fun to make, and then you try it. Fail 20 times, then you get something that kind of works.
I really like those.
They're kind of cute because Lego has got a cuteness to it.
Yeah.
So so it kind of looks like a little piggy, a little boar. So it's kind of fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love British wildlife and like animals, and I think like in the city, no one like really like, you know, all the young kids sort of grow up and they don't get to see sort of wildlife out and about. So it's just nice to sort of build. I've tried to keep everything sort of life size. So it's just nice for like kids to come in and they sort of guess what they are, and then they learn something about animals, and they can go home and like sort of get a bit more into nature, you know, living in the city.
Yeah. So did you try to keep it to English animals only, or?
Yeah, it's all British wildlife. So some of them are like obviously the puffin is quite sort of Wales, and the red squirrel is kind of Scotland, but it's all British wildlife.
Oh, okay. I just learned something. Didn't know British and puffins. Okay. Great. And so a weasel or otter?
This is an otter.
Otter. Okay.
This guy here is a stoat, and so essentially in wintertime when it's cold, their fur turns completely white. So this is a stoat as well, but once their fur is turned white, they call it an ermine.
Yeah.
So it's the same animal, but just when the colour changes, it gets called something else.
Okay. Wow. Ducks. Got that. Okay. Ducks, and what is this?
That is a pigeon.
This is a pigeon. Okay. A pigeon, a puffin,
A jackdaw.
a jack.
A jackdaw. It's a species of crow, but yeah, it's a jackdaw.
Wow. We definitely see those in our yard. The badger. Thank you so much. So what was the inspiration for it?
So it's not necessarily like for like, but it's based on like a dwarven mine from like Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
And that was the starting point. And I kind of just went from there. I built one small section at a time and just kind of kept on adding to it, and it grew and grew. But this is probably part one of two. So next year there is plans to extend it and grow it even bigger again.
What's your favorite part of the scene?
My favourite part is probably the two big statues
Yeah.
down at the bottom. I was over the moon when I worked out how to kind of get that scale right.
Right.
Because obviously you can buy the big upscale minifigs, but not in that scale. So, you know, once I'd worked that out, there was just something about
How long did this take to put together?
I started working on this, well, actually a year ago. So at the end of the last Brick Show, you guys were here last year, weren't you?
Yeah.
I had the big castle with all the like pillars and the towers.
Really tall. Yeah.
And I smashed that up at the end of the last one, ready to start building that. So kind of about a week after, I jumped into this one.
Does the roller coaster, does it move? Or
It doesn't yet. but that's part of the plan for next year is not just extending it but motorizing, so that the carts will move, and I'll get some kind of I'm not quite sure how yet, but I will automate some of the minifigs and things. So.
Okay, so this is a really big model. I'm trying to understand, like, do you start on paper or do you just start building, or?
No, so I did a quick scribble on some paper,
Right.
and then soon realised no, that wasn't going to work, and I just started building. So I actually started from the left, as you look at it, and started moving back over this way. So I kind of built that section, then the next one, and then the next one, and just kind of let it flow. Yeah.
Wow, it's really nice, really good.
It is.
I love all the detail work.
And you didn't have any problem with it being like, this is half a meter tall. You didn't have any problem with keeping the Lego together as you kept going up?
No. So what I've done is, you can see I've actually built it in sections.
Okay.
So it's all kind of 48 by 48 plates. So I can make sure that everything was good, strong and stable.
Okay.
But equally, it made it so much easier to transport.
Yeah.
Because after last year's big castle, I realised I can't be moving things like that again, because it was just, yeah. So just trying to keep it modular.
Good. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
It's all the Jurassic Park and the Jurassic World films all mixed together. So we got Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Camp Cretaceous, and we got all the films mixed together, all in our display.
Wow. How long did it take you to build?
Well, this is only half of it. So it usually takes each section 3 weeks to build up.
Yeah.
So obviously it's a few months for that.
Okay. Wow.
And altogether it's probably 175,000 bricks in the whole thing.
Yeah.
But eventually it's going to be 12 foot by 6 foot. So, as I say, this is only half of it.
Yeah.
So it's going to come out here. And we've got all the buildings from all the films.
Yeah.
Like the old visitor centre, the new one. We've got Owen's cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
And the lagoon.
Yeah.
The lagoon stadium. And we've got the dinosaur coming up out of the water. But we didn't have enough room to bring it all down.
Oh, okay. Where do you usually show the full display at?
Our first one's going to be in Manchester next February.
Manchester. Okay. Could you walk us through your display?
Yeah, so I've got a Hogwarts Castle display with like a small section of track and platform 9 3/4 at King's Cross. Now I've got the Hogwarts Express as well, which motorised and moves back and forth and seems to be entertaining quite a lot of the kids, which is good.
Definitely entertaining me, because I know we have that set at home too, but it's not mechanized, so you did that yourself.
Yeah, so hang on, I'll bring him back round. Ooh. I'll go backwards rather than forwards. So what I've done is I've got the original Hogwarts Express set, but I've extended everything out a bit longer because it was all a bit small compared to how the actual train looks.
Oh.
So I extended everything out, and then I've put a battery pack in the tender, which is fine going forwards. It doesn't really like going backwards very much. But
I saw that. I've never seen a train go back before.
No, it's meant to be on a loop, but obviously there isn't really the room. But yeah, it's probably that and the station. I mean, the Hogwarts is cool. That's probably my favourite bit because all of that is I've done that myself, sort of thing. You know, I bought the set, but the train is completely different to the actual set itself. And yeah, it's just a fun little.
What was your motivation for doing the set?
So I'm actually massive on Star Wars stuff, but everyone sort of does Star Wars things, and I also love Harry Potter. Like we watch the films all the time,
Right.
and I had a load of like sets lying around, so I was just like, oh, let's just make a big castle out of it. So we built up all of the base, and then you got like sort of little hidden bits from all the films. You got a little Slytherin dungeon down here. There's the Chamber of Secrets underneath, and then there's like all sorts of little. Yeah, you got the Yule Ball in the hall here, and the Ford Anglia and the Whomping Willow, and then underneath there's also the three kids with Scabbers running away when he's turned back from Peter Pettigrew. So it's just fun doing all the little scenes and little bits and pieces and things.
How long did it take you to build all this?
Oh god, I don't know. I probably spent a good few days of like hours worth, like so probably 60-70 hours I reckon to get to this point. But I actually built a model for a show earlier this year, and I wasn't really that happy with it, so I completely ripped it all down and started again. And even a week and a half ago, the base of this wasn't finished. I had the front bit here done and the bridge, and the rest of it wasn't even here. I was like, oh god, I got to build the tunnel for the train to go through, and I quite like that feature as well. Was coming up with a structure underneath that, when you look through it as well, it's just arches all the way along, so it looks quite nice to look through, and keeping it strong as well, which was.
How long have you been into Lego?
I mean, I'm 29 now, so probably about 25 years. My dad, the first sets I had, I think I had some of the original Star Wars sets in 1999, and a couple of the space sets that were my dad's before. So I had some of the space sets as well. So yeah, that's basically where it started, and then it's just grew and grew and grew. And then I didn't really, when I was at sort of secondary school age, sort of early teens, I didn't really have as much. And then as soon as I got a job and I had money again, it's like, and then suddenly it all piled back up again.
Yeah, it's all different scenes.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
Do you build with him?
I do build, yeah. So I've always sort of built Lego as a kid a little bit, but it just sort of exacerbated when I found Luke. But yeah, it's so therapeutic building Lego, and to see a product of your hard work is so good. And to be able to come to these and see everyone's reaction, and all of the children are really, really happy about it, and it's really, really nice to see a whole event like this. Amazing.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to talk about it. I'm the one who builds in our house.
Yeah.
So,
we had to build a bigger house. We had to buy a bigger house to get all of our Lego in it. So
ours is taking up half our living room right now, and it's like, it's insane.
yeah, it's
So
really
yeah.
good. It's really
Thank
good.
you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I can try, yeah. I call it the Rocky Mountain Pass. The train isn't mine, that's done by a guy called Luke, who's upstairs with some wrestling belts. He donated. I started it October the 14th, so it's about 4 to 5 weeks of building, and copies of thousands of pieces. It initially started with the Land Rover Defender, city creator set. I wanted to make a road for that, so it looked like it was off-road, and the rest of it just snowballed into what you see now. Detail-wise, obviously got the rock climbers and lots and lots of slopes going on. We've got my family down here in the corner, which is actually sig figs for my family, my dog, my kids. yeah, bit of a labour of love, really. It's been
So this all just started because you were building a display for a land.
absolutely, yeah. It literally started from that.
Okay.
It's done on 5 48 by 48 base plates. All comes apart. All can be easy travelled. Like, it's quite strong, surprisingly.
Oh, because I was about to ask, how hard was it to move it?
It was all right, actually. Yeah, because when I was building it, I made sure I built it so I could move it. Quite simply, really. Like, this comes off as another unit. The trees are the only things that are quite delicate, as you can imagine, like with most sets. But I take them off, bag them up separately, and deliver them along.
What's your favorite part of the build?
Favorite part of the build? Oh, that's a good question. I'm particularly fond of my like signature move that I have on every one of my MOCs, which is my AFOL printed Lego tiles, which is something I've had on everyone. Last year I had it on a construction site and stuff. So, but I think the favourite part, to be honest, I think this bit is pretty much my favourite section, really, because I think that's because it's the bit that came first. But I'm quite happy with how it came out in the end, although it's still nowhere near finished, and I will be expanding it in the future. Hopefully have another mountain up here and a train that hopefully loops around. That's the plan. So, but we'll see. I'll probably get bored and make something else. So. What's your favourite bit about it? There's a question back to you now.
I think I just like all the animals. Like, I've never seen a Lego bear before.
Yeah, I use my sig figs out in the real world because I shoot photographs of figures out and about in the real world. And so we take them with us, we take them on holiday because of the shadowing of the bridge to make the water look darker. And then like Azurus blue, dark Azurus blue at the front, some white. A couple of ducks, as you said, you like your animals. Joker's duck, the ugly duckling, as they say.
I do like the rabbits.
The rabbits, yeah. There is a rabbit here. Oh,
the rapids
some
too.
frogs down here.
Oh,
the rapids, sorry. I
Yeah.
thought you said rabbits. Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Well, the rapids are nice. And I didn't even see the frogs.
There is a rabbit. There is a state mentioned. There is a rabbit there.
Yeah.
I think it's probably my favourite one I've made so far. Out of the 4 or 5 displays, I think so far this is probably my favourite.
What's your favorite part of your display then?
People enjoying it, really. I mean, if I want to say, my favourite bit is probably the for want of a better term, spaceport terminal, because it's totally my own build. For the police station, my own build. The rock built. That's all new for this show. It was built over the last couple of months, so I'm quite pleased with how well it turned out in context of this. And then I see that over there, and I think no. But that's what I'm aspiring to, something along those lines. But I say I've done that, and I've done the power station here because even on a extraterrestrial planet, moon, whatever crater they've landed on, they still need power. They still need somewhere to habitat.
And so the new inspiration for the new piece was they just needed a place to stay. Or...
Yeah. Well, that used to be my rendition of an international space station. So that got broken down to a certain degree to make that, and that was all part of that at one point. And I had other bits, and I've just built. It's now a power station because they still need power, and you've got little pods dotted around because these little vehicles they need a source of power from somewhere. However you determine it, you've got whether it's a fuel, or a gas, or electric, whatever. But there's power points, representation of power points dotted around the base.
How long have you been involved with Lego?
Probably over 50 years, on and off. I started as a kid, about 4 or 5 years old. I'm 50, just turned 58, so I mean, my son, who's got the Hogwarts display upstairs, the Hogwarts Castle, he's been into Lego since he was about 3 or 4 years old, and he's just turned 29. So there was probably a spell of about 10 years that I really wasn't into Lego as such. I've always loved it, but wasn't really involved in it. So all from my childhood, teenage years. Then I got into football, drinking, and then Luke, my son, was born and got back into Lego after about 2 or 3 years. He was old. He was so gifted and so talented with his mind and his hands. He would do something like this at 2 or 3 years old. So yeah, we were buying him Lego, boxes of Lego, not just sets, but boxes of Lego, and he'd just build and create from a very early age. So yeah, I've been mostly on Lego for about best part of 40 years, 50 years.
But it's great to see that Lego's been a family affair.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Oh yeah, my parents got me into Lego from a very early age, and they bought me Christmas, birthday presents. Same with all my family did, but it's not just me and my family, it's my cousins. I got an uncle who's only a few years older than me. He's also big into Lego. And yeah, we've all got some sort of affiliation with the building brick, if you will. Love it. I find it therapeutic in a way.
Yeah, definitely therapeutic.
And very time consuming as well, because you can sit down and start fiddling about with some bricks, and all of a sudden the evening's gone. It's like yesterday, I was here from 12 o'clock till 7 o'clock. 3.5 hours setting this up at the end of it, but 3.5 hours getting everybody else, tables set up, everybody else's bits and pieces in here, everybody's sort of helping each other out. So, but yeah, this has been started off 5 years ago as a display, and it was just an oval of track and a few bits and pieces, and it's just developed into this now. But for next year, it's going to be all change.
Do you know what you're going to do next year, or?
It's going to be the same.
Okay.
It's still going to be Monorail, still classic space Monorail, but it's going to be a totally different layout. So yeah, it's going to be interesting because it's taken me this long to actually get this far. So it's not going to get any bigger. It's just going to go up, and it's going to be a different plate. It might go one base plate because these are little base plates. Yeah. So you've got six base plates wide. It might go a 7th for what I want to do, but I've got more track. I'm going to make it bigger. It's also going to be a single loop with a passing area. I'm also trying to get hold of another monorail train. So I want 3 trains. I've got a motor, I've got a battery box, and I've got a cable. I just need the rest of it now, and I'll have 3. But yeah, it all change for this time next year. Next year is going to be a bit of probably about 6 months of development before it's really ready. But yeah, exciting times personally.
Yeah, definitely exciting. Thank you so much.
No worries.
A Caribbean port that's been taken over by pirates. They're currently drowning the governor as we speak in the well, which is actually from Pirates of the Caribbean. I stole that, to be honest. And yet they're enjoying themselves, really. All illegal things coming in that they shouldn't be bringing in. A lot of treasure going on as well and everything. So this is an improvement from last year as well, where it was just shanty towns. So this is an actual port that's based on Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride as well. So as much as possible anyway, so yeah.
What was your favorite part of the build?
The little kind of stories, I think, really. So you've got the guy sleeping with the pigs. You've also got, they said, that the well, just the general stories of general pirates everywhere enjoying themselves. The guy in the bathtub as well, which is always just little details that the people love, visitors love, yeah. But I suppose now that my favourite part of the build is actually this signature. So this is from a guy called Niels Milan Pedersen. So Neil's designed all the sets when I was a kid, so all the classic pirates, all the medieval stuff as well when I was a kid. And I got to meet him at the Skarbæk fan weekend in Denmark this year. And I rushed. Unfortunately, I missed him seeing my actual design. So Neil's actually works for Lego. He's the historical designer. And so I grabbed a piece of section of my build, ran over to him and says, "Niels, can you please sign my mock?" He looked at me very strangely, and yeah, he signed it away, and I've got that forever now. And but this is the last but one show before it's dismantled onto something else. So yeah, so if anyone needs a lot of trans blue tiles, let me know, because there's going to be absolutely thousands of them. So yeah.
You had a version of this last year, right?
Yeah, it was a version last year that was about 5 times as big as this. So if you remember that, if you remember, it was in the corner there. I spoke to you guys last year. But yeah, I decided to downsize it, really concentrate on the story elements as well instead of just the size. I wanted it to be an actual permanent port as well, with just different things going on. As you can imagine, there's lots of different stuff with the ship, with also the drowning, with the fighting, there's drinking going on everywhere as well. And I just wanted that more, the story element, to come out instead of just it being about size and spectacle, really. Yeah. So.
I think you're the reason why my husband wanted a pirate ship afterwards.
Yeah, was it really? Oh yeah. Pirates are big. I mean, the El Dorado forts come back as well, which is really exciting. I can't wait to get my hands on that as well. But yeah. But I'm also looking forward to building something new as well, so I can't wait. So,
thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Wait for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight. I can smell the shore. It's right in front of us if we just hold. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. Ooh, we are dreamers of the shore.
I think there's probably somewhere between about 150 to 200 on each side. No, it's probably more actually, because I forgot about the knights and horses. There's probably at least 200 on each side.
And what was the inspiration for the build?
It was this project. The project was decided sort of like a medieval castle theme, and I started building bits of castle for it. I was able to obtain some minifigures in bulk, like a large quantity, but then I found out that we're only using one type of minifigures, and I got the wrong ones. So I thought, I'll get the same amount to match. And then just things got a little bit out of hand and just got bigger and bigger, and it's just snowballed from there.
It looks really good. Every castle needs an army or two to defend it. So
yeah, that's what I thought. So that was my thought behind it. It's sort of we've got a medieval castle, so we need an army, for it. So yeah, and I just thought I just build an opposing army. Yeah. For it as well, so yeah, so it's two big armies.
It looks really good. Thank you so much. I try to do fairy bricks at every Lego show that we go to. I love doing it. I love the idea of supporting charities and supporting kids playing with Lego. It's been a wonderful day at the Bristol Brick Show. Let us know in the comments below which mock you like the best. Like and subscribe for more content like this. We'll see you at the next Brick Show.